Before we dive into one of the most beautiful valleys in Europe, we need a quick recap. A few days earlier, we had left Sweden behind us and started our road trip towards the French and Swiss Alps. First stop, visiting our friend Dan in Denmark, then Amsterdam to visit Jenny's brother, after that Brussels, Champagne, Annecy and Sixt-Fer-à-Cheval in the French Alps. Now it's time to continue our journey towards Lauterbrunnen, Switzerland. It's not smoke on water, it's smoke on the mountains. Closing into Lauterbrunnen.
Det är som en åre där. Och det är snö här nere. Snö kvar i den här byn.
Det är nog inte den billigaste campingen. Troligtvis den dyraste, men kanske den bästa också. Här har vi liksom en egen lots som ska visa oss den finaste platsen. Camping Jungfrau is located just beneath the Staubbach Falls, one of the most iconic landmarks in the valley. The waterfall has inspired visitors for centuries. Even Goethe, one of history's most influential poets, found inspiration here for his poem Song of the Spirits of the Waters. Lauterbrunnen is often described as one of the most beautiful valleys in Switzerland. Carved by glaciers thousands of years ago, the valley is famous for its dramatic vertical cliffs, lush meadows and no fewer than 72 waterfalls. It's also the gateway to the Jungfrau Region, home to some of the most spectacular mountain scenery in the Alps. And for the next 2 days, Camping Jungfrau will be our home.
In the shower, it's very good. There you can have a room tour. There is some handfot, we call that in Sweden. You can wash your hand, fixa håret, fixing hair. This is a toilet where you can sit on and poop. And here is a shower.
Good morning from Lauterbrunnen. This morning, we leave the campsite behind and heading deeper into the valley. Originally, we had planned to take the train from Lauterbrunnen up to Greifswald and continue on to Mürren from there. But with the railway closed for maintenance, we jumped on our bikes and headed for Stechelberg, where the world's steepest cable car would take us up to the mountain village of Mürren.
You could be selling books, I could be tying knocks. You could be a fairy tale and I could be a tulip. You could be a wildflower, I could be a broken tower. You could be the Queen of Spain.
The world's steepest cable car climbs 775 vertical meters in just 4 minutes up to Mürren, perched at 1,641 meters above sea level. As we are lifting higher and higher, we're hoping the clouds will lift as well. On a clear day, the views from up here are said to be absolutely spectacular, so fingers crossed. Som vattenfallet här.
Mina öron.
Kolla rätt upp alltså, shit vad coolt. Jag ser vad fort det går nu när den här klippväggen. Och så har han paragliden där. Det snöar. Well, it wasn't exactly cloud-free. We couldn't see the famous peaks of Eiger, Mönch and Jungfrau across the valley, but to be fair, it could have been a lot worse. And I also think the clouds drifting through the mountains gave the place a cool, dreamy atmosphere of its own. After all, as we say in Sweden, det är fint när det är fult då. And this is definitely one of those places. Even when the weather is grey, it's absolutely stunning. Mürren, one of Switzerland's oldest alpine resort villages, is home to just a few hundred residents, and like nearby Wengen, the village is completely car-free. We were here just after Easter, between the winter and summer seasons, which meant that things were a little quieter than usual. At times, it felt like we had the streets almost entirely to ourselves.
Det är 35 minuter man går. Bara 15 minuter med kälke. Tyvärr har vi ingen kälke just nu. Men...
After recharging with some food and drinks, we decided to take a short walk to Gimmelwald, a tiny mountain village just 35 minutes down the trail. Not to be confused with Grindelwald on the other side of the valley. And as we set off, it actually looked like the weather might finally starting to improve. The clouds were beginning to break, and for the first time all day, we allowed ourselves to hope that we might just catch a glimpse of one of those famous mountain peaks after all.
Fantastic! Thank you!
Ah, shit!
Kolla, man blir nästan höjdrädd.
Ja. Oj, oj.
Och så svenska flaggan på den här.
Ja.
Åh, super! Ett skepp kommer lastat. Men vadå? Skepp kommer lastat med lite grus.
Back in the village, we had a little time for some souvenir shopping and to refill our water bottles before the bike ride back. From Mürren, you can also take another cable car up to Berg and eventually all the way up to Schilthorn, famous for its incredible views and its connection to the James Bond movie On Her Majesty's Secret Service. But with the mountain peaks covered in clouds, we decided to save that adventure for another visit. So, with the shopping done and our water bottles refilled, it was time to head down to Stechelberg and enjoy one last cable car ride.
Even if we had a different life, different names, different stories, different eyes, nothing could ever change that we were made for us. Oh, I would find you.
Har du kollat ditt konto, älskling?
Nej, jag har inte kollat kontot.
Det blir error.
Jag säger som min kompis Johan Persson. Penningar har aldrig varit något problem för mig. Det.
Before heading back to the campsite, we made one final stop in the village. There was something Julian had been thinking about all day.
Beautiful.
Hur smakar den?
Awesome.
Här öppnas då den franska Lidl-flaskan.
As we sat down for dinner, with the soothing sound of Staubbach Falls in the background, I couldn't help but realize just how much there was still left to explore. It felt like we had barely scratched the surface. We'd love to come back one day, maybe later in the summer or during autumn, and spend more time exploring the mountains above the valley. We never made it up to Schilthorn or Jungfrau, known as the top of Europe. We had also planned a visit to Harderklam near Interlaken, but the weather had other ideas. But that's the beauty of places like this, they always leave you reason to come back. That's all for this time, but don't miss the next episode of our European road trip as we leave Lauterbrunnen behind and continue to Rhine Falls before crossing into Germany and visit Bergspark Willensö in Kassel and the medieval town of Rothenburg ob der Tauber. Until next time, take care of yourself and our beautiful nature. Hike safe, drive safe and keep on exploring. Hej då!
Kolla! Man blir nästan höjdrädd. Ja, jag gjorde det också.